Good day, everybody. I always have to remind myself we're talking to people all over the world on these, and I just want to thank everybody for joining us. My name is Patty Cepeda. Herb and I are here today to go over something that's an extremely exciting opportunity that we have been exposed. We had been exposed to about it's going on a year ago that we were exposed to it. We took action probably about 10, 11 months ago now. And we are so happy we did that. So I want to share, first of all, how we got here for those that haven't, ever heard us before. We have been in business for ourselves for a very long time. Herb was formerly a New York State trooper. I have a master's and ultimately a doctorate in education. We thought we were going to do that for the rest of our lives. We were introduced to the industry of marketing and network marketing. Our venture, we took home over $30 million with that company, and it was an amazing residual seven-figure income. And now we've come upon something where we had an opportunity and we're invited to Puerto Rico to meet with some billionaires and to talk about something that, to be honest, we had no idea about. So I applaud everybody that's here tonight. And I know it's becoming more and more familiar, and that is the industry of blockchain technology. What is that? And coming from somebody who has a background that I go back to when the internet was first introduced to me. I had my heels dug all the way in. I wanted nothing to do with it. I saw porn and I wanted to do away with it. Regardless of how I felt, though, look what happened and how the internet swept the world and has changed the way we do everything from relationships to business. It's amazing and an extraordinary expansion and has changed everything. And imagine, I want to put this out to you, if you had the opportunity to have been involved with and had been able to take advantage of that, to be able to have capitalized on that for yourself and your family, that growth of the internet and what it did worldwide. As the Monday morning quarterback, hindsight's always 2020, and we would all say, yep, I would have definitely done it. But unfortunately, most of us didn't get that opportunity. We were just exposed to it, and it came and it flooded us over, and it was like a tidal wave that took over the world. I've got news for you. Blockchain technology is actually growing faster than the internet was at its same point in time in development. And most people have no idea how it works or what it is. And many times we ask people about it and they'll say, because blockchain and how it works and crypto and all of that that's coming down the pike and it's coming at us fast. I mean, I'm talking about 6 months ago, people were like this. Now they're open. Now they're coming back to us. And, well, what are you doing? I would love to learn a little bit more about that, because you can't have all of these variables coming together all at one time. Presidential candidates, all sorts of things happening that are causing people to desire to know now, because they see it's coming. And the World Economic Forum isn't, or I don't necessarily like this organization, but they've been right so often. And they had said that $867 trillion of global business will be upset by blockchain technology. So it's coming with or without, whether we like it or not, just like the internet did for me. And so that's why I say I applaud you for being here. And when we went down to Puerto Rico to meet with these guys, I just be honest with you, I had my heels dug in a little bit to that, but was open on the other hand, because it was an opportunity to meet with people who, we've done 7 figures, right? These people have done 8 figures, and there was nothing to lose. And my friend Darren that was talking to me about this said, come down, meet these people, get them in your Rolodex, a little outdated, but get them in your phone contact list and be able to meet with people that could take your everything to a different level. When you're around people, it's been said that you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And you can take that to the bank, by the way. You can actually add up the incomes of the 5 people you spend the most time with and their salary, average it out, and you'll be within $10,000 of that income. So it's like, choose your friends wisely, right? So I thought, well, yeah, I'd love to learn what they know, glean from them, have them in our contact list. And so we went down there and met with Tony, who is an amazing gentleman. We had him on last week's Wednesday call. We can get you that recording if you'd like. Amazing wealth of knowledge. He has $53 million of his own money put into what we're here to talk about tonight. How did he have the money to do that? Well, has taken 3 companies to $1 billion. I never even knew any one person that took one company to $1 billion. He has taken 3 companies to over $1 billion. And another gentleman who was right was the #1 miner of Bitcoin in North America at one point. I didn't even, I mean, many of you hear these stories about Bitcoin. I know we have a friend we met with, and he told us in 2010 that he had an opportunity, and on a hunch he decided to put $1,000 into Bitcoin. He said it was really scary, and Herb Quick jumped in. He says, well, how much of that do you still have? He says, all of it. Now we all know where Bitcoin went to over $100,000, right? So obviously that's 100, because he said, well, do you have it all? And he says, yeah, that's $100 million worth of Bitcoin that he, on a hunch, and I know he loves the Lord, so it was kind of probably God inspired, but on a hunch, he puts $1,000 into something that was a little scary. Now, most people realize Bitcoin's not so scary. It's come of age, kind of, if you will. I don't know how else to put it. People accept it today, right? So that's what we have now. And as we're meeting, and how did he do that, by the way? He showed us pictures on his computer of what looked like football fields inside of warehouses of what looked like computers worth of football fields. And what it was mining equipment. We literally had them all set up, put out the expense. He read what's called the white papers on the project of Bitcoin, and he liked it. And he put the expense together to have the warehouses, to put the mining equipment into. It was extensive, and that was hardware. Today, and obviously it paid off for him, right? He's made billions of dollars. Today, you're here to hear about blockchain technology, which takes that idea of mining on Web3 software. So we're talking about node software. It's called NODE in this community. That's what it's called. And running networks, like he had the networks and the need for those computers to run the networks, meaning how do they validate or disqualify information? It's a whole, Herb's going to get into that a little bit more detail. But the point is that when he showed us all this, I was in awe. Today, I'm in awe thinking about what he did. And just by reading the forecasting in the white papers on a project, there had never in the history of crypto been a success story until Bitcoin. And he actually read papers and saw that and ran with it. Here we have track records, and we're working with people who have track records. So we want to get into, first of all, what is blockchain technology, and a little bit about the project that we're the most excited about, and what is that? What does that mean? So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Herb, and then I'll be here with.
Yeah, I don't think you need to turn it back over. I think you're doing a fantastic job. As a matter of fact, you got me thinking in a positive way to get me all fired up. Hey, Patty, I want to address something. A lot of people are saying that they don't have any video. And so Christy just said that from the phone, not the computer. So you just might want to log off of your phone and come back on. Maybe that'll solve the issue. I'm seeing the video. I see you, Patty, just fine. So, I don't know what they're experiencing. So my suggestion is, and I showed it in the chat, to just log off and come back on. Well, look, we could talk about this all night if you want to, because we're excited about what's going on. Just like Patty just said, there comes a point in time sometimes in life where you've come across, some people have come across opportunities in the past, right? They came across being there when Jeff Bezos was starting Amazon in 1996 or 1994 when Elon Musk was starting PayPal, or sometime in that time frame of the year of 94 to 96, when people were really capitalizing on the boom of the internet. And then maybe you were there when Apple started, or maybe you were there when Microsoft started. I don't know, but those opportunities were real. They're factual, and people were there at that place in time, and stories are told about people that are in the right place at the right time. But the stories are only told really of the people who are at the right place at the right time, and they recognize that something is happening, and most importantly, they take action. Because without taking action, those stories wouldn't exist. Some people took action. Well, we don't have a crystal ball. Like, we can't predict the future, right? But we can certainly see what's happening today. Like we can see what's happening right now. Like we're fortunate enough that we can all look back and say, yeah, the World Economic Forum did say that $867 trillion in global business is about to be disrupted by blockchain technology because it's growing faster today than the internet grew between 94 and 96. So most people don't know what blockchain technology is. This is fascinating to me personally because it's relatively new to me. But Patty and I, we did our best to learn about it as quickly as possible, and we're nowhere near experts in really understanding it. I think there's very few people in the world that are. But yet, the more we come to understand, the more excited we become. We start to understand that blockchain technology is booming because people want a degree of freedom that they haven't been able to experience before. And not just the people in the United States, I think it's the people globally. See, blockchain is just a whole bunch of computer software interacting really and confirming, validating, discrediting information, items and stuff like that. And then they'll store all that information. We like to say they make a block of this information. It's a metaphoric block, obviously, but they make a block of this information and then they'll do something else and analyze something else and take all that information when they're completed and take that permanent block of information and attach it to the previous one, and so on and so on and so on. Essentially making a chain of these blocks of information. That's where the term blockchain comes from. But here's the interesting thing about it. It's decentralized. I mean, the software we're talking about that's interfacing right now can be owned by you in, Alabama. It could be owned by somebody in Buenos Aires, somebody in Cancun, Mexico, somebody in Seoul, Korea, somebody in Istanbul, somebody in Buenos Aires. I mean, the list goes on and on. Mexico City. All of the software is around the globe. It's not centralized. It's not developed and it's not created by a big entity, company, or government. That's what's so exciting about this. It's really in the control of the people who own the software. And who has the right to own the software? Anybody. Really, anybody can own the software. You make a decision to purchase it, right? That's the taking action part, and then engaging and then telling people what you found. And then maybe the information can start to spread from person to person, from city to city, from state to state, from nation to nation. And it goes globally relatively quickly. And the advancement of this internet is making this a powerful, powerful medium. It's a powerful, powerful tool. Why? Because we've just created, or this blockchain just created, an immutable ledger. That's a ledger that can't be changed. If you want to change any little thing in that whole block of information, you'd have to change all the computers that validated that information simultaneously globally. It's almost impossible to do. And so they're making an immutable ledger. What does an immutable ledger allow people to do? And then here's the really exciting part: as a consumer, as a person who wants to interact globally on a financial basis, doing transactions and things like that globally without being inhibited whatsoever. It allows people to interact peer to peer, person to person, without a bank. You see the rise of cryptocurrency. You hear the talk in the media. You see what went on in the last, election, where now they're starting to really promote and advocate the advancement of blockchain technology and AI and cryptocurrency. And there are people who are listening in right now, who are hearing this type of message right now with what we're doing, and it's blowing their minds. And let me tell you why it's blowing their minds. In the crypto space, normally, you hear about coins and tokens, meme coins, we call them. Those coins normally have nothing backing them except the potential of people saying, I'm hoping it's going to increase in value. But there's really nothing backing them. Same thing with Bitcoin. The truth of the matter is, there was really nothing tangible backing what Bitcoin was, except a white piece of paper that was written in 2008, and people saying, I'm willing to purchase that. I'm willing to buy it. And then it continues to go on and on and on. They know there's a finite amount, and it goes from $1 in 2010 to about average about $100,000 today. What's backing it? Just what I just told you. People saying, I'm willing to pay for it. Now, we're taking the fastest growing technology in the world right now, and we have a community of bright, educated people in the blockchain space, in the crypto space, and frankly, in business that are saying, what if we kind of take real world utilities, things that people are using every single day, and reward people for using them? This platform that you're looking on right now is called Rlink. It's a video conferencing platform that the world doesn't know about, but we think the world is going to hear about it relatively quickly. Why? It's easier to use. Secondly, it's a blockchain project. It's not owned by a company. So there's not people spying on us right now. And I don't have to worry about Mark Zuckerberg sticking his nose in and capturing all of your faces through AI technology. It's private. But most importantly, the people who use this and the people who actually purchase the software to make this a functioning, operative blockchain, they get rewarded for doing that. And so every single day, those of us who figured out the convergence of blockchain technology, advancement of it, and the understanding of the crypto industry, we figured out something really, really fascinating. You want to know what it is? And I don't mean to offend the people who are educated on this, but I'm going to tell you something. This is what we figured out. We figured out that there's a difference between the people in the past who made millions and tens of millions of dollars buying Bitcoin versus the people who produced the Bitcoin. The people who produce the Bitcoin are commonly referred to as Bitcoin miners. But you see, there's a big undertaking to do that process. It required a tremendous amount of hardware, servers, they look like little computers. Patty remembers seeing pictures of a friend of ours, his house. Well, he had a warehouse the size of 2 football fields with servers stacked 3 or 4 levels high or as far as the eye can see. And that's how he was producing or functioning in the blockchain. It required that hardware. That hardware could cost 60, 70, 80, $90,000 a month just to supply the electricity needed to generate, to make that functioning or functionable. Well, how many people have the wherewithal to do that? Like, how many people can actually do that? But you see, that step really separated the people who made the millions and the tens of millions, even hundreds of millions, from the people who've made billions in that space, in that Bitcoin space, because they figured out there was a tremendous advantage of producing them every single day. And here's what Patty and I figured out. Let's simplify it a bit. Well, there's only 3 ways people can get cryptocurrency. You can have it given to you. Good luck with that. You can buy it. There's exchanges right now. A lot of us are figuring out how to function on these exchanges. A lot of us are figuring out how to, do these transactions, how to sell our rewards and buy more and stuff like that. We're figuring it out right now. It's a different process that we've been exposed to by the private Western central banking system, no question. And so it takes time to learn it. But once you learn it, it's kind of fascinating because, man, you can have it given to you. You can buy it on the exchanges. And we have friends who bought crypto, Bitcoin specifically, who put in $1,000 and it's worth $100 million right now. We personally know people like that. Or you can produce it, like a friend who had the warehouse full of servers. And so what eluded the most sophisticated crypto enthusiasts in the past, we're bringing it to the attention of everyday, ordinary people, just like you and I. And we're putting them at the right place at the right time. Whether they see it, whole nother question. Whether they take action, whole nother question. But we're putting them there where they can do what the people who did with Bitcoin at a high level with hardware, we can do it today with software. We call it software nodes. When I spoke about all of the uh, interfacing of all the computer programs around the globe making up a blockchain, those programs are called nodes, software nodes. Well, software nodes can be purchased by anybody. And once you buy the software nodes, you can allow it to work in that blockchain. Just put it in the cloud. We pay a small hosting fee every month and just let it function and operate. But every single day that we allow that to occur, they use our software, they reward us for doing it. Like every day. And so Patty always says, it's kind of like if you wanted milk, you can buy your family a gallon of milk. But if you want a lot of milk, you can buy the cow that produces the milk. Or you want eggs, you can buy eggs. Or you can buy chickens and have a constant supply of eggs. That's kind of what we're talking about here. Those of us who understand the significance of owning the software that makes the blockchain run, we're going to be rewarded for letting the blockchain use that software to a degree that most people, and we're not even to talk about it tonight, you won't believe it. Like it's incomprehensible for a lot of us. Why? Because we've never been given the opportunity to participate in a space at this level. That's really what it boils down to. But the truth of the matter is we need vision. We need people who can see that this is real. Like if you're on this rally right now, there's a certain realness about what you're experiencing. You're hearing us. Some of you are seeing us. Some of you say you're not seeing us, but there's a certain realness with the platform. And so as we get people to come to understand that, hey, you can do a video conference on whatever video conference platform you want. And there's normally like 4 of them, right? There's 4 big guys. There's like Google Talks, Microsoft Teams, GoToMeeting, or Zoom, right? There's only 4. Well, where's the loyalty? Like, which one has the most loyal users? Talk about that for a second. None of them do. They haven't established any loyalty. If you wanted to get on a video conferencing platform, chances are somebody sends you a link, you click on it, it doesn't matter what platform it is, and it pops up for you and you're on. And you don't even question it. You're like, oh, glad you sent me the link. Glad I can click on it. I'm glad it worked. You really don't know the functionality of it. You really don't. And let's take Zoom, for example, because we've heard the numbers many times. You hear something enough times, you could reiterate the information, right? Zoom has a market cap of someplace in the vicinity of 20 to 21 billion dollars. Why? That's because 300 million people per day around the globe are on a Zoom. 300 million people per day. Well, are they capturing your data? Think about it for a second. I mean, who's the major shareholders for Zoom? Ultimately, it's BlackRock and I think Fidelity. Vanguard, yeah, BlackRock and Vanguard. And so big boys watching over you. You think they're implementing AI to capture your facial data? You think they're taking into consideration the things in the background of your screen? Or all the things physiologically speaking to identify who you are? Things of that nature. It's called Zoom bombing. I mean, it's been reported on. And they have the right to do it. Why? It's their technology. It's their centralized technology. And so we're talking about decentralizing video conferencing. We don't want a company owning this. We want to have the say in it. And so we'll keep it private where nobody's going to look in on you. But we'll also reward people. We'll give them cryptocurrency for allowing us to use the software and for using the platform itself.
Absolutely. And Herb, I want to say that that's one of the key things that really is distinguishing us from other things too. Not only all those things you said are very, very important and they're definitely head turning, but the fact that we have the opportunity to have a way where people are getting rewarded in a compensation. So you're literally being compensated when you share this with others. And people are driven by that. People are looking for, I don't care if you're buying makeup at Ulta or Sephora. They all have these ways that you can have and gain rewards. We have an airline card. Many people have gas cards. I mean, everybody wants to get rewarded for shopping places. And this is the one area that's lacking. And this is going to be a very lucrative opportunity for people to, not only just pay for their service, but and some more. I mean, there's a way where as you start to network this around the planet, that's how it's going to get there. And that's how it started. And, since 2020, certainly everybody and their grandmother and children alike, everybody, universities are using Zoom, right? So that's the go-to almost. That's the one. Here, that's an open source platform. We've taken this, and it's funny because last night we pulled together a family rally because we had to discuss something that's up and coming. One of our daughters getting married. We got on a rally, and the kids hadn't been on it yet. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. The quality is like, this is a camera. And they went on, they raved about it, unprompted, obviously. It wasn't something that we were looking for. But the truth is, this platform is better than others. And when people realize that they're going to be rewarded for it, who wouldn't move over? If somebody sent me a Zoom or a go-to meeting, I'm going to say, whoa, hold on a second. Let me send you this link. Our / here is free. Everybody has the same link, but you have a / that attaches to you. If you pick, I don't know what you want to pick, world. It doesn't matter what you pick, your name, it could be. And people will get on it and you're rewarded for that. That's exciting.
Well, you know what? Let me put a disclaimer in here because this is the perfect time to do it. Nobody's promising anybody anything. We don't have a crystal ball. All we have is maybe a vision and an understanding and a tool and a platform that we're on right now that we can be responsible for initiating the spread of the information or the adoption of this platform by people globally, and we can get rewarded for it. And so the rewards right now are worth literally nothing. They're not worth anything. It's kind of like what Bitcoin started off at 2008, comparatively speaking, relatively speaking. They're not worth anything. So we're at the 2008 stage with Arlink and with Raleigh. But do you think we can get a small percentage of the 300 million people around the globe every day who are using Zoom to use this if they know they're going to be rewarded for it? Isn't that a way to establish loyalty? I mean, it is a tremendous way. Anytime rewards are given, it's a tremendous way to establish loyalty. Look, I'll give you a case in point. I use a MasterCard from Citibank or Barclays. Both are tied into American Airlines. And why do I refuse to get a credit card when I'm checking out at the counter at Neiman Marcus or something like that, or Nordstrom? Why do I refuse to take their credit card? It can give me 15 to 20% off, for that one purchase. Why do I keep telling them no? Because the rewards that I get using my American Advantage airline card are more important to me. They've established my loyalty by giving us rewards. We take those rewards and we buy airline flights and we get upgraded all the time. And it's nice. It's just easy, convenient, and nice. But that's how they have us loyal to them. How are we going to get people in the video conferencing platform who have no loyalty because they're not rewarded for anything to be loyal to a specific video conference platform? We reward them. That's how you do it.
I want to elaborate on what you said too. Is the beginning stages of Bitcoin or any crypto. It's amazing because what we have, like recently there was a Trump coin came out, went from 20 cents to some crazy amount, $70 or something, like quick. And it was amazing, but it's a meme coin. There's no utility behind that. When you think in terms of a lot of the coins, there's no utility. When I say utility, what do I mean? Usage. We have something that is literally, in this space, they call it a project, but it's a business. It's a business, like Zoom is a business. We don't call it a business here because we don't have an owner. Who owns this? We do. The people who run the software, the node software, own the project. We vote on whether it goes this way or that way, or how this runs or that runs. Everything is voted upon by we, the people who own the software in this. So your next step is to find out a little bit more about how that works. And the person that invited you here tonight has a website you can literally click on and open up a free account to Connect United, which is a community of not just this project. There's other ones that you can look at. We just happen to feel this is the project that's going to explode the fastest, in our opinion. Sharp said, it's like, again, we don't have a crystal ball, but it seems like this would be the one, because there's no need for, like, we have one of our projects that's called Revo Rides. It's in the ride share industry, and we have riders and drivers. We're open in, I think it's about 80 cities. It's a spectacular idea. They're paying the riders or the drivers the brunt of what's collected. The rides are less expensive. Everybody's happy, and they're getting rewarded for it. But yet you need licenses at airports, you need riders and drivers, etc. Here we don't have any of those hiccups, so we just feel it's going to move faster, and hence we're focused on our link. So when you open up your Connect United account that the person who invited you here can send you, what'll happen is you'll be able to look at all the different projects. There's actually an academy back there. You can learn how much are all these different software nodes in our community. And then what I would suggest is, as you're doing that research, get back and stay in touch with whomever invited you. We can get on 3 ways. You can get on another R-Link rally like this one. See, the key here is this is a new concept, new vocabulary, new community. We're talking project, not business. We just came out of an industry that had owners of a business, and they decided to do whatever they decided to do. For example, it happens many times in business, and they do things that we don't all necessarily agree with. And maybe they even wreck the whole company, or maybe they sell out to private investors out of a need, or whatever the case may be. This is completely a new space that, as I said when we started, is about to sweep the world. And right now, you're positioned in front of it with the knowledge you've even gleaned tonight. The knowledge you have tonight puts you in front of probably 95% of the world's population. What we also put in place are 4 days a week training calls in the morning for a half hour. We go through everything. We have people who are getting on our training calls that are full of knowledge to help us answer questions. We do rallies like this on a regular basis to help answer questions, get people up to speed on how everything works. What is blockchain? We go over different things, and it might seem repetitive, but in something like this is something that's a new concept, new vocabulary, you be patient with yourself, but I'll tell you what, you're going to thank yourself you did. Because if you just recall what happened to the internet, we're about to squash what happened to the internet. We're sitting in something that big. So I want to encourage you, number one, get back in touch with whoever invited you here tonight. Get that link, plug in, get some information. There's other, like last week's with Tony, who talked on our call last week. We have regularly scheduled rallies. All of this you start to plug into and start to decide, where do you want to be with this? Do you want to be a node owner in this project, or maybe a different project? I don't know. We're not telling you what to do, but it'll give you the options, but it's your first step in that process. So right now, we'd like to thank you for coming tonight and being here with us. On behalf of Herb and myself, we want to say God bless. And we always stay focused on others. So we always end everything we do with, ask yourself, who can I help today? God bless everybody.